But I think the main things is at the end of the day, volleyball is volleyball. It's in the same 9x9 court, and the rules are the same. So we. Is that on the back of your shirt?
Yeah, it's on the back of the shirt.
Beauty. A little free shout out for you. And it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the net. You need to still execute to the best of your ability if you want a chance to win.
That's right, Brett Walsh, and this is the 9x9, the 81 square meters of the best volleyball content on the internet. My name is Everett Delorme, live from Chicago. I'm not Chicago. He's in Chicago. Live from Toronto. That is Mr. Rob St. Clair, live from Chi-Town, Chicago. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a new number one team in the world on the women's side. Congratulations to Türkiye for not only grabbing that number one spot in the world, but also for winning their first ever major competition. We are seeing one of the teams come into their own right before our eyes. They had a massive VNL weekend, the VNL finals, taking down or United States of America in the semifinals, and then walking through China in the finals. Rob, first and foremost, how are you feeling after this past weekend's Vienna finals?
Well, we'll get into my thoughts about the USA in a minute, and the thoughts about
overall.
and
Let's just start overall first,
and the hosting experience in Texas, which I actually thought was kind of good. But the easiest way to summarize this is that Türkiye was by far the best team there. By far the best team there. I think that it was huge congratulations, first of all, to the Turkish women's team. They were by far the best team in the final. You could have argued they were the best team throughout the tournament. They were one of those top teams in the world that took the tournament the most seriously from the get-go. They have been knocking on the door for a very long time. Somebody in the Discord was saying, it might have been our friend Berkay, was saying that this is not just the Turkish women's team's first title. This is the country of Türkiye's first major team sports title in any sport, which is incredible.
Whoa. Really?
That's what I was hearing, and that's what I was hearing in the Discord. If we got some Turkish people watching, which I'm sure we do, let us know if that is the case. That this is the first Turkish team sport title in any sport. Isn't that crazy?
That makes sense because men's volleyball, no, soccer, no. They're not relevant.
Not basketball,
basketball might be the only one that I could think of, given like how good some of those clubs are in European basketball. But with guys like Ido Turkoglu, that's the really the only Turkish basketball player I can think of.
Anyway, congratulations to Türkiye. They were tremendous. They've been knocking on the door for a long time. Then over the off season, they made two absolutely vital moves. The first was to get the best coach on the planet in Daniele Santarelli. The second was to have Melissa Vargas become eligible to play for the Turkish national team. Sure enough, we both saw this coming from a mile away, that she was going to be the most important player in the entire tournament, not just for Türkiye. Sure enough, she wins the MVP. Congratulations to them. I mean, they played the best volleyball in the final. They absolutely mopped the floor with the Italian B team in the quarters. They beat the United States 3-1, and it probably should have been 3-0 in the semis. And then they made the final against China look relatively easy. So they were the best team, and congratulations to Türkiye.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They did two huge things that made a massive change to that team. We can talk on and on about how good Melissa Vargas was, because she was absolutely phenomenal.
Best player in the tournament by far.
Best player in the tournament, and right now I know it's been a bit of a just a whirlwind with this, but probably the best player in the world on the women's side. Definitely the best definitely the best offensive player, especially right now. But Daniele Santarelli has to be hands down the best coach in volleyball.
I don't even think it's close.
Women, men, it doesn't matter. Daniele Santarelli is the best coach. Like, he just wins everywhere he goes. The way he had that team playing, and I think one of the people that we really need to, there's a few things that I really want to talk about Türkiye, and you touched on the two biggest ones. The third one is the buy-in from Ebra Karakurt. The way she was playing on the left side, the way she was passing the ball, the way she was swinging on balls, that is a massive difference. We've talked for so long about how weak Türkiye was on the left side. Moving her over there was a massive difference, and they worked through it throughout the group stage. Her passing was a little bit iffy, but in gut check time, she showed up. She showed up to play. She was serving aces. She was making digs. She was passing balls. She was hitting balls out of system. We even saw her pull a few down the line as well. We know she loves to go cross court, but she was able to pull a few down the line as well. She was absolutely fantastic. And then the last piece of the puzzle, no, there's two more pieces of the puzzle. First and foremost, the middle blockers.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Zara Gunesh,
Amazing.
Ada Erdem were fantastic. Türkiye has the best serve block game in the world. No, but bar none. I think they had 8 aces in the finals, 14 blocks. They were serving teams off the court, and then they have the best blocking team to come up. And when you look at, you have Vargas and you have the Karakurt on the left side, you have 2 of the best middles in the world there. But the thing that really ties it all together was Elif Shaheen to me. Shaheen was able to run this offense, to understand this team. She helps out blocking wise. Like, this is a 180 of the Turkish team we saw last year, right? Completely different. You have the majority of the same players out there, but just a completely different mentality. And there's so many different reasons for that. This to me isn't just a first championship for Turkey. I think it's truly a coming out party. This is a team that has established themselves and been waiting to establish themselves on the world as one of the elite teams. And they've truly just been on the doorstep. This is them taking a step inside and doing it in dominant fashion. They were hands down the best team throughout this VNL finals. I wouldn't say they were the best team through the entirety of the VNL. However, when it mattered, they got the job done, and they got the job done well. And to me, this is a statement to the rest of the teams in the world that Turkey is here, and Turkey is here to stay.
It absolutely is. What I really like about the way that Santarelli managed this team is that he was completely unbridled by any of the recent club history, any of the politics, any of the garbage that, like the recent history under Guidetti and all those, some of those bad vibes, and just all of any of that. There was no bad blood anywhere. There was so much buy-in, like you said, Karakurt embracing her new role, but like only Santarelli would even be willing to bench John Suozbay for Elif Shaheen, and to even consider making that move, given the history of Turkish volleyball last couple of years. He didn't care. He didn't care about anything about except that who the best choice was. And Elif Shaheen absolutely was the best choice to starting setter. She had an outstanding tournament. Got to shout out Daria Jebegiolu. Amazing to be the 4th outside on Vakif Bank and start in the VNL final when the 2nd outside on Vakif Bank, Karabayama, didn't even crack the American roster for the VNL final, which is
That's
crazy.
Something I want to talk about later, for sure. Let's talk about the American women.
Certainly will be. And Santarelli bringing 3 liberos, which I don't think I've ever seen before. He brings 3 liberos. He dresses Ayça Aykaç in the regular jersey and uses her as an occasional backcourt sub for Karakurt, and it works perfectly. Love that move. And Gizem Orge being the best libero in the tournament, I think very, very clearly that it was just a masterclass from Daniele Santarelli in moving the pieces around, but getting that team to buy in. Getting that team to buy in, to embrace the roles that he had for them is not easy, especially where this Turkish team has come from. And now they are over the hump. They have made a statement. They are absolutely a team to be contended with. They have elevated themselves into that contender tier for every tournament in the foreseeable future now, with those 2 big additions, Santarelli and Vargas, and the way that they've clearly shown that they can handle the pressure and the adjustments that need to be made and the various matchups that there are in the world. And it's there's a new contender in international women's volleyball.
Absolutely. I think they've always been a contender, but I think they're medal, like they're a perennial medal favorites now. Until something changes, they're up there with the USA, with everyone else, and being like, oh yeah, Turkey could win any tournament.
Sure.
Just going back into that buy-in, how stoked he was getting on the sides with Karakurt. Like, there was one, especially in the first set against the USA, where Karakurt ripped one down the line a little bit out of system. And that, to me, like how she turned around and immediately like high five Santarelli, that to me smells like hours and hours in the gym working on that exact situation, on that exact shot, because we know Karakurt can go cross, as I said before. Her ability to go down the line was huge, and just you can tell that the vibe on the team is way different than Guidetti with Guidetti a year ago, right?
Night
with
and day.
Guidetti, I think it's very much of being like, I think with Guidetti, he wanted to play play volleyball the right way, whereas with Santarelli, it's very much playing volleyball their Turkish way and the way this team needs to play, and
Right.
that was a huge difference to see. But to me, the semifinal was the final, right? Like
I
there
agree
was
with that.
there was much more. They were much more elated beating the U.S. on home soil, the way they dominated, the way they did. And you're absolutely right. I mean, if in my eyes, if it wasn't for Dana Retke coming in that third set, it probably, it would have been 3-0. But they were so much more elated after having beat the U.S. on home soil than having to beat China, who was let's be honest, China was a bit of a surprise team to make it all the way to the finals. Neither of us predicted China beating Brazil. No one could have predicted them beating Poland as well, especially the way Poland's tournament went. But all in all, I think full marks need to go to Santarelli and the rest of this Turkey team, because this was a phenomenal finals weekend for them.
Absolutely. Yeah, very, very well deserved. I'm very curious to see how the next couple major tournaments go. I mean, you would think now Turkey would be a shoe-in to qualify for the Olympics, if not from the Olympic qual tournaments, but for by world ranking alone, they'll get in. They'll be one of the favorites for Eurovolley. But I think before we move on from Turkey, you got to remember both Italy and Serbia punted this tournament. We didn't see
Serbia though.
Sure, yeah, we didn't see Tijana Boskovic until week 3. Their crew that got third last year without Boskovic did not play well. It took Guidetti a while to figure it out. They missed the playoffs. Italy played the B team the entire time. Those are Turkey's two, and then Poland, who walked away with bronze, which was an amazing accomplishment for them. The first challenger team ever to medal at VNL. Poland still is missing the best setter in the world, their second opposite, their best ball control outside hitter, and maybe a starting middle blocker. So
love it.
So the Eurovolley is going to be ridiculous.
It is going to be nuts. I mean, Rob, as we were getting ready for the show here, as we were loading up, I now said that I think that there's legitimately 7 contenders in women's volleyball. Right, when you're looking at the old powers of like USA, Serbia, great. We have the finals there. When we're looking at the old powers of like the USAs, the Serbias, the Brazils, China, Turkey, Poland, Italy, of course. Like, there's so much quality on the women's side, and I absolutely love it. Here, looking at the bracket, pretty much I expect, except for China taking down Brazil there in the quarterfinals. We were worried about Brazil coming into this one, right? We really were. We talked about it on last week's show about how it seemed that they lacked a little bit of depth, especially without Ana Cristina. There's only so much Gabi can do, and I don't know where else that they can find that depth. I don't know where else that they can find that quality. China looked absolutely fantastic. One of the most efficient teams in this tournament. Li Yingying was lights out.
Yeah, she was excellent.
Absolutely lights out. And then, Rob, is this the time now that we want to talk about your United States of America? It is about then. I want to hear your initial thoughts on everything, because everything was going well until that quarterfinals, and once again we see a USA team who dominate throughout the group stage crumble and not even finish on the podium.
Yeah, it's funny. We were talking about in the Discord that it's now 3 VNLs in a row where the host of the final has failed to medal. I mean, last year, Turkey lost the bronze medal match to Serbia's B team. On the men's side, Italy lost in the bronze medal match last year. They got 4th at home. Now the U.S. women got 4th at home. So you're right. The United States, that were one of the best teams in the preliminary round, came in with the 2 seed, beat Japan in 4, which I didn't love that match. We won. We got away with it, but I didn't love that match. And then obviously the semifinal, the 3-1 loss to Turkey, and like we've already said, really should have been a 3-0. Ali Franti single-handedly won that third set for the U.S. And we had actually a kind of a miracle comeback chance in the 4th that fell short because we weren't clutch enough there late, and then lost the bronze medal match in overtime in the 5th to Poland. The thing that struck me, and I did say this, I said two things coming into this tournament that I would like to shout out that I was right about both of them. One was that I have no idea who the United States starting lineup is, and I still don't know.
No.
Still don't know. The other thing is that we need an outside hitter who can both pass the ball and can terminate. The theme of this VNL finals for me is a staggering level of inconsistency. The lack of consistency shown by that American team through 3 matches is insane. We had no idea who was going to start, who was going to play well, who was going to play like garbage, who were the right choices even going to be. Like, I can't fault Karch for his starting lineup choices because he has no clue who's going to perform on a given day. All 4 outside hitters, Kelsey Robinson, Kalia Lanier, Avery Skinner, Ali Franti, all of them had good games. Then all of them had terrible games. Micah Hancock was the starting setter through the entire tournament. Lauren Carlini was a little banged up, but we saw Carlini in the bronze medal game come in and play decently well. We absolutely should have seen her in the bronze medal game. Annie Drews, not a good final tournament at all. Incredibly inefficient, made a bunch of errors, but Jordan Thompson led him into action wasn't very good either. Even Justine Wong-Arantes wasn't very good. That was supposed to be like the one rock solid, consistent piece of the lineup at libero, and she wasn't good at all in the bronze medal game. Morgan Hentz came in and was way better. And then in the middle, it was a revolving door as well. Haley Washington had bad games. Chaku Bogu was a little banged up, which was a shame. Asia O'Neal came in off the bench and might have been the best of the 4. Like, the inconsistency of the group of those 14 players for the U.S. was insane. We never knew who we were going to get. And Karch was just beside himself trying to make changes at the right times in the middle of the matches and couldn't really figure it out. I mean, after the first set of the bronze medal match, he started 6 brand new players for the second set. He changed everybody except the libero, and it worked. it was insane, the inconsistency of the American roster. And then the other thing is, I just don't think that team has a very high volleyball IQ. The lack of situational awareness, the decision making, the set choices, the attacking choices, the inability to adjust. I thought I could not believe that how poorly our attacking game was against Japan. Why ever were we tipping balls against Japan? You should never tip balls against Japan. They are unbelievable in off-speed defense, and they're going to run the ball down your throat in their quick transition. Like, how do you not understand that matchup? You should take swings on every ball. Against Türkiye, how are we continuing to let Ebrar Karakur beat us cross-court? How are we not adjusting that blocking line? Like, how? How do we not make these really simple, like, moderately high-level volleyball adjustments? It's insane to me that the decision making and the errors, the mental errors that this team was making. What were the error numbers? What was it, like 31 errors against Türkiye in 4 sets? Yeah, 31 errors. That's terrible. Yeah. And then in the bronze medal match, it's not much better. I mean, they went deep into 5 sets, but 31 errors in 4 sets is downright ridiculous.
It was better in the bronze medal match. 8 hitting errors compared to 13 in the bronze medal match. So they did figure that out. Serving not so great, 11
terrible
in the bronze medal match compared to 14 in the semifinals. Do you still have things to say? I'm gonna give you your space to rant here a little bit before I give some of my thoughts here.
No, I think we'll get to the rest of it when we talk about the matches themselves, and we'll dive into the 2 semis and the two medal matches. But in the Türkiye game, Daniele Santarelli ran circles around Coach Karch Karai coaching, ran circles around him. Circles around him, wasn't even close. And I'm trying not to panic, because even like during the bronze medal match, like during the mid-game interview, Karch Karai was already talking about that was an opportunity to prepare for an exact situation in the Olympic qualifier later this year. So I do think that the women's program's sights are set on bigger things, 100%. which they usually are. So I'm not going to panic, because I think that some decisions would have been made a little bit differently had it been a more significant tournament. But again, that's 3 tournaments in a row we have failed the medal, and we've shown serious weaknesses that I have yet to see solutions for.
For me, there's 2 big things when I look at the American team. It's something that I've brought up before. first and foremost, there's no star power on this team. There's no one player who's going to step up and be like, this is my team. Going back to 2021 at the Olympics, you had Jordan, you had Larson, right? You had the governor. Like, you had that one player who was able to step up and be like, this is my team.
And
then
Michelle
beside her,
Barsh-Hackley, who we
exactly,
missed badly.
you had MBH, who is the perfect Robin to anyone's Batman. We saw it with Team USA. We saw it with Vakif Bank. Like, she's done it time and time again, and she's that perfect player. But the next thing to me is that, why am I blanking this? There's no star power and there's no leadership.
Right.
There's no leadership on this team. No one has stepped up and been like, hey, we need to take this team. The only one I see really being vocal at times is Haley Walsh. And as you said, she was absolutely terrible. She had no points in that semifinal, and she was a starter. I mean, they keep on playing that one block that Karakurt cut on her, where she just clamped her on that slide over and over again. And it was a great block by Karakurt, terrible swing by Washington. This team has no leadership. And for me, I kind of have to look at Karch for this. How many different athletes have you used over the course of the past 2 years? How many different left sides have you used? Like, yes, for one thing, it's fantastic you're getting all of these athletes in, but it's been a revolving door. This is kind of echoing your sentiments here. And it's just, there's no consistency within this roster. There's no one who's willing to take the reins and be like, let's go. We're gonna do this as together as a team. Or I'm gonna put this team on the back. I am worried about this USA team, right? And I know what was at the beginning of last year, we were talking about dynasties. I think that is out of the window completely. And it's just like, hey, let's just stay relevant, right? Because there's so much talent in that USA system, but there's a big question to me is, why isn't that top level talent being developed in the NCAA, which we all view as the best developmental league in the world? There's a lot of questions marks there for me, but it comes down to no star power, no leadership, and then finally, from Karch's point of view, just a revolving door of cast members. And I think it's really tough on these USA players. I really, really do.
So those are three fantastic points, and I think they all can be summarized in just the way that team approaches things. And they talk about it a lot. They say 14 strong. They say like 25 or 30 strong. They literally want they seriously, their goal is to have everybody be interchangeable. Like, that's what we saw in the bronze medal match. We had a starting six and then a brand new starting six for the second set, and it was completely different. It's the opposite of, I think, how this kind of needs to be attacked. You need a defined starting seven. You need a defined superstar. You need a defined captain and leader. And the other teams in the world have that. They have a superstar. They have a defined captain and leader. They have a defined starting seven and defined bench players, and the defined like players 14 through 18 or 20, like waiting in the wings in the gym. The US doesn't have that. They have 20, 22, 24 very good players. And past that, there is absolutely no clarity on whose role is what. It's changing so much. The intention is for it to be so interchangeable, and I just don't think that's the right way to do it. I just don't think that's the right way to do it, because when it comes Olympic time next year, which we will qualify for, but I have absolutely no faith that we have a team right now, a 7-player unit right now, that can dig deep in an Olympic playoff game and win a set. I don't see it. I don't see that player that wants
not even a match.
I don't see it. I don't see that player that wants the ball in those situations. I don't see that player that's going to demand their voice be heard in a timeout. I don't see that. And every other team in the world, at least, is kind of developing that. And we can pinpoint the superstar or the leader or both on every other women's team in the world. And the Karch system is just so insistent on being really like everybody's equal, everybody has a role, everybody contributes. And it's about that point in the quad where we need to shift away from that. And if we don't start to see that come Olympic qualifier time, I'm really going to have doubts on our ability to even sniff the podium in Paris.
Yeah, I think As I said earlier, I think that there's some coaches who try to coach the game the right way. And then there's other coaches who are coaching the game right now. And I think this is maybe where Karch's lack of experience within the European professional coaching ranks really hurts him, right? Like Santarelli is there week in and week out amongst the best coaches and the best players in the world. And he knows how the game is played right now. Karch doesn't have that. Karch has the Team USA way to play. And that's right
And
now it's not working, and it's
that
not
worked for
relevant.
Tokyo, man. I mean, that's the funny thing is that they have been committed to this style for almost 7 or 8 years now, and it worked in Tokyo. But that's you
But
don't have Jordan Larson anymore. You don't have Michelle Barchackley. You don't have Kim Hill. You don't have Faluka Akinradawo. It's not the same group. You
And
can't
you don't
play
have
this.
you can't have Jordan Poulter either.
Not yet. Yeah, so that will help. I do think that Poulter, when we get her back, maybe for Olympic quals, but especially for next summer, that will certainly help because there's a lot of even indecision at starting setter right now. And if you don't know who your starting setter is, how can you possibly build a team around that? That's the least. That's the most important position to know for a fact what you've got going on, and not having that locked down creates some of that indecision elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So much. There's a lot of issues right now, but mismanagement at the top for Team USA has to be one of them. All right, Rob. Let's. Oh, you got one more thing to say here?
Nope. Well, let's keep going.
Let's move it on. One team that we definitely need to spotlight here is Poland. You mentioned it earlier. The first challenger team to win at the VNL. They got first place in the group stage. Lost to China, surprisingly, I would say, in the semifinals, but then regrouped nicely. In your mind, has Poland arrived? Maybe not to the extent that Türkiye has, but has Poland established themselves on the international scene here in women's volleyball?
Without question, and they must be elevated to core team status.
100%.
They have to be. They have to be moved up to core team status. They were brilliant. The number one seed after the preliminary round, bronze medal as a challenger team. And like I said, without 4 extremely important players, like they're going to get the best setter in the world back for Eurovolley and for Olympic qualifiers. Poland is absolutely here to stay. I love the way that Lavarini has managed this team. With the exception of occasionally putting in the double sub and taking Stysiak off the court in weird situations, which you should never do. She's your best player. Other than that, I really like what he's built. I really like the way the outside hitter group is coming together. I love Lethal Barbie. Shout outs to our girl.
Oh, Barbie.
Shout outs to Agnieszka Korneluk.
I've been praising her for a while now. I've been saying she's been good for a while now, and she showed up. Love it. She should have been on the dream team. But
and we can talk about the dream team in a minute. She was unlucky in that the other 2 unbelievable middle blockers got honored above her. But I mean, Poland deserved it. Poland, I honestly would have felt injustice if the USA had ended up winning that match and beating Poland for bronze, because I don't think that we deserved it. I think Poland did. I think Poland deserved a medal more than the United States did, and I think that justice was served at the very end of that 5th set yesterday. I am very impressed with Poland. I think that Eurovolley is going to be unbelievable when they have everybody back.
I'm more excited for Eurovolley than I am for Olympic qualifiers.
Oh, me too.
Like,
going to be a
Eurovolley, and women's Eurovolley is going to be so good. There's so many teams who need to prove something. Italy, Serbia, Poland, Türkiye. Like, it is going to be so much fun to watch, and I absolutely can't believe it. But you're right. This team is a lot of fun to watch, and this team is having success without some of their biggest. Like, you could arguably say, even with Brazil, you could definitely say, you could make an argument for Poland being the most shorthanded of all the teams in the finals, for Poland missing the most of their best players. Everyone, I guess, except for Türkiye was missing, a few players. Brazil was missing Anna Cristina. You guys were missing Jordan Poulter, but missing Voloj and a few of those other ones is just massive for Poland.
Yeah, they're going to be a huge factor. They're going to be a huge factor down the road. I like this team a lot. Yeah, they're only going to get better when Volleyball comes back, and yeah, they're going to be a serious contender at Eurovolley again. Congratulations to Poland. The Polish women's team really deserves this medal, and if they enter next VNL as a challenger team again, I'm going to have a fit.
I think it's impossible, especially when we're not talking about like this isn't Canada we're talking about, where if Canada went on a run and won like bronze medal, I don't think the FIVB in volleyball world would turn around and be like, oh, sorry, I'm gonna just someone's like banging on my doorbell and keep pounding it, so I'm gonna run downstairs and check that out. This is all of you for the next 30 seconds.
Interesting. Everett's got someone banging on his door. Yeah, congratulations to Poland. We'll talk about the medal matches in just a minute. While Everett's gone, I want to talk about China. Congratulations to China, silver medal in the 2023 VNL out of nowhere, completely out of nowhere. I mean, Everett and I both picked Brazil to beat China in the quarterfinal, and I think that wasn't that crazy for us to pick that because Brazil wasn't that good. They weren't convincing throughout the group stage, but we both have seen it before where Brazil just turns it on when they get to the finals, and we were both expecting that to happen. But China said absolutely not. China played incredibly clean volleyball in that game, and then China played the match of their lives against Poland in the semifinal. They were absolutely insane. I think they hit like 44% efficiency as a team, which is a number that I've never seen before in the women's game. That was incredible. And sure, maybe after that, like some of those offensive performances individually weren't going to be sustainable for the final. Welcome back, Everett. I'm just talking about China, the silver medalists. How like their offense was absolutely off the charts in the semis against Poland, and that probably wasn't going to be sustainable for the final. But China, especially having played basically their starting seven the entire tournament, pretty much every match, like all 15 matches that they played. To be rewarded for that with a silver medal is a big deal. And China definitely made a believer out of me in the style that they can play. Li Yingying is a superstar. No other way to say it. Yuan Jinwei is one of the best middle blockers in the world. I think she was like third in attempts for their team the entire tournament, which is amazing attacking and one of the best blockers on the planet. Diao Linyu set a brilliant tournament, especially that semifinal. She was just amazing. And China overall rock solid, really good technically, good blocking, relatively good out of system attacking, and relatively low errors. So all that stuff is the recipe for a good team. If they can convince Zhu Ting to come back and play for this Olympic cycle, which I have no idea the politics around that, if they can do that, they are actually a contender at next Olympics. If they can't do that, I'm still not sure that they're going to be able to break through once the teams like Italy, Serbia bring their full teams. When those with Egonu and like Boskovic in her prime and all that are back in the mix, that makes it a little more difficult for China. But China absolutely deserved this medal, especially the way they played in the semifinals. I was very, very impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that they deserve their spot in the finals. They deserve the medal. Do I think that they are like long term? Would I pick China to succeed over Poland? No, I don't think so.
Me neither.
I think this especially this Chinese team, and even if you do add Zhu Ting, I don't know how many more dimensions this team actually gets. Like I don't necessarily see them really being that much more lethal. Like, do they become a serious medal contender with her on the team? I don't exactly see it. Like this team and the way their style is built, like you said, it's just to minimize errors and let the other team make the errors.
Somebody in the chat does say that Zhu Ting will be back for Olympic qualifiers, and I mean that helps. And Diao, but I mean Diao Linyu, who just played the entire VNL, it should absolutely be the starting setter, regardless of who else is in the mix. But yeah, China lacks depth at the wings for sure, and Zhu Ting helps with that tremendously. I think that would be a huge addition, but I mean, even still at that point, they would be in the same situation of having to play their starting seven every single match, and we know how difficult the Olympic qualifier format is. Even though I'm pretty sure China's hosting one of those pools, if I remember right, or maybe that's just maybe that's on the men's side. I think they're hosting one on the men's side. I can't remember if they're Japan's hosting for both. Maybe China's just hosting the men, not the women. I can't remember, but yeah, I agree with you. I think China absolutely deserved this medal. They had an excellent tournament. They just kind of they kind of like walked through Brazil like Brazil was an afterthought, and Brazil did not play well in that match at all. But yeah, the level that China played in the semifinal was amazing. But at the same time, that level that China played in the semifinal, I knew immediately going into the final they had no chance to keep that up. Like that level of offense, 44% efficiency as a team, no way were they going to do that 2 matches in a row. Like 24 hours later, no chance was that going to keep up. So I wasn't surprised to see Turkey handle them in the final. But yeah, congrats to China. I mean, if you medal at VNL, you deserve a whole lot of credit. No matter the external factors, China deserves a lot of credit.
Absolutely, and I think that they're especially a team that like you can't take the foot off the pedal. Like they're a team that you have to put the foot on their pedal even more so if you want to handle them. And I mean, that's exactly what we saw. I'm pulling up the Olympic qualification pools now. This is, never mind, Volleyball World and their garbage stuff.
It's okay. We'll figure that out later in the summer. But I think before we talk about some of the actual matches, we should talk about the Dream Team, Everett. Just go down the list really quick. The MVP.
Sorry,
Oh, go ahead.
I did find it. China, Japan, and Poland will be for the women. Brazil, China, and Japan for the men.
Okay, so China does have both.
Yep.
All right, cool. Good for them. That will certainly help their Olympic qualification bid this fall. The Dream Team. Melissa Vargas was the MVP and the best opposite. That is an absolute no-brainer. Diaolin Yu from China was the best setter. Martina Łukasik from Poland and Li Yingying from China were the best outside hitters. Yuan Jinyue and Zara Gunesh were the best middle blockers, and Gizem Orge was the best libero. For the first time ever, Everett, I agree with this Dream Team. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually agree with this Dream Team. I think they actually got this right. I was really curious to see what Polish player they were going to put in there, because they couldn't possibly put Stysiak over Vargas.
Yeah.
They couldn't put Korneluk over Jinwei and Gunesh, in my opinion. I mean, those 2 players, those 3 middle blockers all had amazing tournaments, but I do think that Martina Łukasik was Poland's best outside hitter of the 3 that we kind of saw regularly. So I was okay with this. You could have maybe put Stenzel at libero, but I thought Urger was better, especially in the final and in the semifinal against the U.S. So I cannot believe I'm saying this, but good job, Volleyball World. I think you, for the first time ever, have picked a correct Dream Team for a tournament.
Yeah, I agree. I fully agree. I think there's, especially with there's a few, like you said, with Stysiak, maybe or them. There's maybe a few others, but overall, a fantastic Dream Team. I'd love for them to make a Dream Team after, or like a first and second, maybe given a third team after the group stage too.
Yeah,
I think that would be fun.
Get more teams represented.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, great job there, and a nice little Dream Team. And to be expected, Melissa Vargas is just, to be honest, I don't think we've talked enough about Melissa Vargas.
Oh.
Like it's almost like it's just understood that she's the best player in the world. Some of the things that she was doing this weekend were just gross.
It's insane.
Just disgusting.
She
plays like a dude.
Close and angles that she can hit out of system. She does play like a dude, and we mean that in the best possible way.
Yeah, 100%. Like, don't come at me. Don't at me on this. Is like a dude in the best possible way. And like we've talked about it, women's volleyball is transitioning to this like 2010s, like mid 2000s, 2010 style of just having a big, beefy, bright side banger on your team. And Melissa's the Vargas right now is the best of the bunch. Now, I just cannot wait until another chapter of Agonu versus Vargas, because those, have we seen with Vakifbank and Fenerbahce in the club season, have been chef's kiss. So once you get them in their national team jerseys, I cannot wait for it, because those in my eyes are the 2 best ones. But man, she's so fun to watch, and adding her to this Turkish team is absolutely perfect. It's just, I'm so excited. Like, I know we just finished the NL, but I'm so excited for women's volleyball in the next little bit.
Dude, me too. Not only her attacking ability obviously is ridiculous, but from the service line, Melissa Vargas from the service line is a straight up cheat code. Not only is she rocketing the ball, She's going sideline to sideline and at relatively low errors. And I think she deserves a lot of credit for serving efficiently as much as she's just pounding the ball from the service line all the time. She doesn't miss that much. She puts on a huge amount of pressure. The receivers are shaking in their boots when she goes back to the service line. And her addition to the Turkish national team has been an absolute slam dunk so far. It really seems like she's been a great culture fit too. Like Ada Erdem in her interview yesterday after winning was talking about how great Melissa Vargas' personality fits into the team as well. Everyone's embraced her. Santarelli has obviously embraced her. I mean, what's not to like about being able to coach that player? But the culture fit looks fantastic. She looks at home. She looks happy. She looks like she's having a great time. So congratulations to her. And now it is without question, we now have 4 players. Every time we have to talk about who the best player in the world might be, we have to talk about 4 players. And that order has shuffled a lot the last 12 months, and it's going to continue to do so. But right now, I do think that Melissa Vargas is on top of the world.
Yeah, without a doubt, 100%. I mean, it does benefit that she has played in Turkey for the past few seasons, and I know that she does play for in China for the first little bit, and then she comes to play in Turkey, and that's massive. But you're right. I like this to me. Just once again comes back to the man of the hour, Mr. Daniele Santarelli.
Absolutely,
you can tell that the minute he walks into a room, he makes a team feel better about themselves, and the way that he conducts himself with the team in its entirety is truly a testament to how good of a coach he is, but how good of a people person he is. And I think that's the biggest thing is right there, is that he knows volleyball, but volleyball's volleyball's a fluid thing, and you could be the smartest person, and like some of the best volleyball coaches I know, I also think are autistic and had no people skills whatsoever. I'm looking at you, Doug Anton, the man who finished my career. That's a deep cut right there. But there's so many coaches who get focused on playing the game the way they want to, as opposed to realizing that, like, hey, like my players drive this bus, and they're the ones that need to feel good about themselves. So once again, full credit goes to Daniele Santarelli. We've been calling him the best coach in the world for a while now, and let's just amplify that even more so.
Absolutely. It's not particularly close. I think he is the best. All right, let's talk about some of the matches. I mean, we can just break out some of the numbers. We've already talked about most of the main storylines at this point, but let's start with the gold medal match. Turkey beats China 3-1. China does steal the second set, but after that, it wasn't particularly close. Melissa Vargas was unbelievable. 26 points, 21 for 39, 44% efficiency. You talked about it earlier, Everett, but 8 aces, 14 blocks as a team for Turkey. 4 aces, 5 blocks as a team for China. That is a gigantic difference, plus about 10% separated in team attack efficiency. I mean, I was talking about China getting unbelievable wing efficiency in the semis against Poland. That was probably not going to be sustainable for the final. Sure enough, Gong Xiangyu and Wang Yunlu combined 14 for 44, 7% efficiency as the other 2 wings next to Li Yingying. That is not going to get it done. And the Turkish middles were brilliant as usual.
Yeah, they're so good. And also Vargas was massively efficient.
Awesome.
44% efficiency. Huge.
Amazing.
Huge.
Yeah, big time. I mean, once it got to, I mean, what were the last 2 sets? 19 and 16. Yeah, it was not even close in the fourth. It's only a matter of time. We knew that Turkey was going to win the thing. Elif Şahin, great tournament. We already talked about her. Ebrar Karakurt, 25% perfect, 43% positive passing, and their leading passing attempt getter. That is like you talked about, embracing that role and executing the reception game at the level that team needed her to do. That is very, very impressive.
There was a number of times when, and like once again, we talk about the vibes on this team. Karakurt nails a pass. They dish it to Vargas. She kills it. And they immediately turn to Karakurt. And they talked about it in the broadcast a few times that the emotional leader on this team. Like we talked about having star power. We talked about having leadership, like for good and for bad, because there's moments in that third set against the USA where things started going downhill. And I thought Karakurt was going to cry, she is an emotional roller coaster, but she is finding ways to help her team in in other situations than just offensively. And I think that's to her benefit, because even in this finals match, we saw her go 7 for 25 and have a 20% efficiency. Like, she only hit 28%. And yet, like, she still had such an impact on this game, especially with 3 blocks. She got 2 aces as well. Her passing was absolutely phenomenal. And I think that's to the testament of Daniela Tentarelli and this team, but also the work that Cara Cortez has obviously put into this, because it's not easy to make that switch from the right to the left.
Right, yeah, and just a big step forward between the ears for Abra Karakurt, and embracing that role and providing value to a team in a different way than what she's used to. It was very, very impressive. So anything else about the gold medal match before we move on?
No, great job by Türkiye.
100%. This was the least, maybe the least dramatic VNL final we've seen in a little while, just because we kind of knew it was going to happen. The bronze medal match was very dramatic. 17-15 in the fifth. Poland beats the United States. The U.S. had 2 match points in the fifth, which we did not take advantage of. And I will tell you right now, Everett, when Poland had their first match point chance, the instant we set the ball to Annie Drews, I said, no. Sure enough, stuff straight down.
She's a Boilermaker. She's a girl. Like,
I said, and my wife can corroborate this. I screamed, no. And sure enough, stuff straight down by Lethal Barbie to lose the match. Shout outs to Lethal Barbie, by far the best nickname we have in women's volleyball right now. Shout outs to the Volleyball Source Discord for that one. There aren't really that many statistics to pull out of this, because it was incredibly balanced. This was very, very close. Magdalena Stysiak, 53 attempts, which is insane. Only 13% efficiency. We did a decent job against her. She did make 9 unforced errors. But I mean, we talked about the USA already. 6 brand new players in to start the second set. The only 2 players that I thought played well were Avery Skinner off the bench, who was amazing, and Chiako Bogu, who looked like she was playing through a bit of that knee issue that kept her out of most of the preliminary round. Other than that, Kelsey Robinson, not good at all. Annie Drews, not good at all. Jordan Thompson off the bench, not good at all. Ali Franti, negative efficiency after being amazing the day before. Like, I just don't understand. I just don't understand how this team can be so inconsistent. And I feel bad for Karch having to try and figure out when to substitute people, because it's a complete revolving door. It's a complete roller coaster, and I just don't get it. So, like I said, I'm honestly kind of glad that Poland won that bronze medal. I think they deserved it more than we did.
Fair enough. It is interesting to see that, like, often you see a match go to 5 when all 4 of the sets were like 25 to in the teens, right? Usually you see a bit of a closer game with like 15, 16, 19, and 18 being the set scores in sets 1 through 4. You know what? I feel bad for Karch, but also I think this is somewhat of his doing.
It absolutely is.
It has been a bit of a revolving door, and you can't get comfortable in that position. Like, to me, it's similar to like when I'm bartending and like my boss, the owner, is just standing right over me, like making sure I'm making the drinks. That's exactly when I'm going to make errors, and that's when I'm going to make mistakes. And that's kind of what I feel from this Team USA. Make a few mistakes and then just get the yank and someone else in the next game. So just rough things all around. They need to figure some things out.
Yeah, a lot to figure out. A lot to figure out for the U.S. women, especially playing at home, and the crowd was pretty good.
For the USA games, the crowd was fantastic.
Very good. And
for the USA games, the crowd was really good.
We have a couple people in the Discord that were there. They were saying, other than the U.S., the best fan base there was actually China. They're saying the Chinese fans were incredibly in volume and in passion, and said that some of those games felt like Chinese home games. So good for them as well.
I did notice that from watching the finals.
Yeah.
That when shout out to Bianca, who's just been everywhere this summer, doing all of the games. When she would be like, cheer for Turkey, there was a decent cheer, but then when she was cheer for China, it was very, very loud. There was also a group of Chinese fans right behind the referee in the finals who were all wearing Bucky's shirts, which I really, really appreciated.
Bucky's.
Yeah, because they were wearing the red and yellow of their favorite country, but also supporting the
the
like national
the most American institution of them all. Yeah, Buc-ee's, for people who don't know, is this it's the most Texan thing ever. It's this
Texas,
gigantic, basically like gas station convenience store, but it's pretty much the size of a Costco. You can buy anything there. You can buy food there. It's absurd. It's so American.
I'm pretty sure if I went and got brisket at Buc-ee's, it'd be the best brisket of my life. You know,
it's good. Yeah, it's like legitimately good food. It's nuts.
Next, if we go back to Austin next year, Rob, we're gonna rent a car and go to find a Buc-ee's. Like that is my goal.
Awesome. All right, let's talk about the semifinals. I think this match here, Turkey beating the United States 3-1. This was probably the match of the tournament. Whoever won this was probably going to be favored in the final, and sure enough, it was Turkey in 4. We came back, we being the U.S., came back to absolutely steal the third set. It was really all Ali Franti. She came in, played great offensively, went on a serving run there at the end. We were down, 24... We were down 24-22.
22, yeah.
And won 26-24 when we won 4 points in a row on Franti's serve and defense, which was big.
Recky also got 2 big blocks in that run stretch there after 2022 to help bring them back, and I thought her energy was big. I will say for the finals, the semifinals, Kayla Lanier was the best player on Team USA consistently, but she got it done all throughout the game, except for in those gut check times. Like right at the end of that 4th set, there was a chance that would have brought USA to level, and they were down 24-21 once again, and made a push where Karakut hit like an off-speed cross-court shot, and it was right at Lanier, and it just hit off her arm, and she missed that dig. And that one was that was a dig that needed to be done. And then right after that, Hancock just gave her right back the ball, and she made the error to give the advantage to Poland. And it was tough to see, because I thought she was the best American player throughout the entirety of the match.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. You got to dig that ball. And I mean, we made another kind of miracle comeback. It was 24-21 Turkey in the 4th. And we came all the way back, took a 25-24 lead, but couldn't quite get it done. The one thing I really didn't understand is when Jordan Thompson came off the bench, which she should have done far earlier. Annie Drews was dreadfully bad. 12 for 37, 3% efficiency. Jordan Thompson comes in off the bench, and you set her one ball. The only ball you set her is a Bic ball against match point against 3 blockers. That is the worst set choice ever. Like, what do you expect the girl to do in that situation for her first swing of the match? It was just bad.
I do think Drews was really good in the first set. Like in the first set, maybe set and a half, like she was very automatic, and she was the best scorer for Team USA. But then they started picking up on her, and she just doesn't have the power nor the shot selection to be able to, like, once a team is keying in on her, she doesn't have that ability. And I noticed they were running her on the pipe a lot, especially since you had Hancock in the front row. They were running Washington on the slide, which didn't work at all either. They ran Drews on that pipe, and it worked a couple of times earlier on, and then after that, Poland was just picking up on it. And they absolutely smothered it. Sorry, not Poland, Turkey.
Right. So, I mean, we talked about it earlier, but the dominating thing in this match was errors. 31 errors in 4 sets for the United States. That's more than 7, almost 8 free points per set. 14 service errors, 13 unforced attack errors, and 4 other stupid errors. Like there's one really dumb net violation that Annie Drews had that I really didn't like. 31 compared to 19 errors for Turkey is a big difference. Turkey blocked 19 balls. That's crazy. 7 for Zaragunesh. Like, that's just an unbelievable blocking performance, just making the United States offense look simplistic, which honestly it kind of was.
Best serve block team in the world, hands down.
Yep, I totally agree. What did they have? 2 aces, 9 errors for Turkey. Is actually not as many aces I expected. 3 aces, 14 errors serving for the U.S. Turkey was way better than us. They deserved to win. It probably should have been a 3-0 if we hadn't stolen that miracle third set. Last but not least, China beating Poland in a 3-dong in the semifinals. Now this was stunning, to the tune of 47. Oh, sorry, I was saying 44 earlier. 47% team attack efficiency for China is is just bananas good. Wang Yunlu 62%, and Gong Jianyu, well, no, she wasn't quite as good at 25%. But when your second outside hitter, who isn't really a scorer, hits 62% on 11 for 16, like, you're going to win a lot of games. Li Yingying was great. Yuan Jinwei was amazing. 10 for 12 with 2 blocks and an ace for a middle is unbelievable. And I don't really think anybody was going to beat China on that particular day. Didn't end up being sustainable. So I did feel bad for Poland. They kind of ran up against a buzzsaw. But I don't know, Everett, have you ever seen 47% efficiency as a team in the women's game?
No, that's really, really high, especially for the women's team, the women's game. But the stat that impresses me most is only 3 missed serves.
Yep.
For China in this match, which is unbelievable.
Clean.
Right? Like, how many times have we seen one player like Tyrynyanska, like Lukasik, that's one I can pronounce, and Stysiak. They made, like, you had 3 Polish players who made 3 errors themselves. Right? Just 3 players made 3 times the amount of the entire Chinese squad. And I think that what it comes down to. You're just putting the ball consistently in with that type of pressure. And especially since Poland is a team that is going to make some errors. Like, they're not a clean team like Japan or China by any stretch of the imagination. That's where you're going to do it. But having a serving performance, like you said, like that's a once in a tournament type thing. That's not an everyday thing.
No. Yeah, that's once a tournament you hit 47%, maybe. Like, that's maybe once a quad you have that level of offense. Yeah. Everett, what do I hate more than anything in the world in volleyball?
Missed float serves.
Missed float serves.
Oh my God. Honestly, it's annoying.
I hate missed float serves. I hate missed float serves so much, when, especially in the women's game, like, serve the ball in the court. If none of you have good enough float serves that are actually putting on a significant amount of pressure, serve the ball in the court. It's unbelievable. So good for China for not missing very many. It's
you hate them so much that when we watch games together in person, I wish I had a protective shield that as soon as I see someone miss a float serve, I can just press a button and it separates between us, so I don't have to listen to you bitch and moan about float serves. Like,
I hate missed float serves.
That's what I wish.
Don't miss them. Just don't do it. You're international volleyball players. Don't miss float serves. Jesus.
Yeah, fair enough. Do we need to talk about the quarterfinals at all, or did those just happened way too long ago? I think the only one that I might want to touch on is China versus Brazil, because
Brazil was bad.
Brazil was bad.
They're bad.
Brazil was bad. And as I said at the onset, I don't know. Like, we might be seeing a temporary downfall in Brazil here. Like, I really don't know how much more Gabi can carry this team, because they don't have the entirety that they used to. They don't have the depth that they used to. They just don't have that undeniable skill that they used to. And I'm really worried for Brazil.
Yeah, they don't really have an opposite right now. Without Ana Cristina, they don't have a second outside hitter, and they're setting. With Macris and Roberta was bad, and that, I think, is the most concerning part. Like, that there's no reason for Macris especially to have that big of a drop off. I mean, you just won a championship with Fenerbahce. Like, how do you come into VNL with your home country and lay an egg the entire tournament the way that she did? Just bad decisions and badly located balls. Like, there were swings and misses to the middle on many occasions in this China game, and it was just bad to watch. 21% efficiency as a team for Brazil. I'm actually surprised it was even that high. I thought it might have been worse.
I mean, Thaisa was really carrying them. She was 17 for 25 in the middle, 56% efficient.
That's Gabi, a ridiculous number of attempts.
A ridiculous number. And I will remind you, back when we were picking our teams and everyone was calling me, oh, why would you pick Thaisa over Carol? Why would you want to pick Thaisa over Carol? It's because of this, guys. It's because of stuff like this. Thaisa is a legend, and I will not take any more slander of it. But Gabi has not looked great since putting on this Brazilian jersey. Like, I don't know about, maybe she just got into it too late, like she wasn't really around, but this is not the Gabi that we're used to seeing in the black and gold, right? This is like green and yellow Gabi is way worse than black and gold Gabi.
Well, it was this tournament. I think she is just being called upon to do too much. There's too much offensive load being put on her, and I don't really think that that's fair to her. And it's not the right way to build a team, is to have Gabi be your primary offensive player. She needs to be the second best offensive player. That's when she's really at her best, when she can pass nails. I mean, look at this: 43 reception attempts, 60% positive. I called her in the Discord earlier the best receiver on the planet, and I'll stand by that.
60% positive, 33% perfect. That means in 43 attempts, one ball. She passed one ball.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Everything else was like, or maybe even two, but yeah, that's just absolutely unreal. But we do remember, like, we did see Gabi's team to a finals at the World Championships not even a year ago, right? So we know that Gabi can do it, but there was some other helps, and we did see some other players step up, and we really haven't seen that much for Brazil throughout this VNL.
I'm also going to blame the setting a little bit.
Yeah, Crease looked really good for Fenerbahce. Has not looked good for Brazil.
Not at all. Yeah, other than that, I agree with you. The quarters, not much to talk about. Turkey 3-donged Italy in just effortless fashion. That B team never had a chance. Talked about the USA versus Japan a little bit already. Poland, Germany was a decent game. My take on Germany is that their 3 outside hitter thing ran out of gas. The fact that they didn't have a right side attacking presence ended up really hurting them.
Yeah, that's fair. But hey, Grosier's daughter is only 16. She's on the roster now. The cannon is in her blood. It's coming for them. It's coming for them. But I
hope so badly that she plays just like her dad. That would be so awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. That's exactly what I want. But ultimately, I think overall this is a great tournament for Germany.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They overperformed massively, I think. And I mean, let's be honest, Germany is a team that in the past I'd be like, yeah, Canada has them. Now I'm not sure. I think Heinen, like, let's give some credit to Heinen here. I think he did a great job coming in on this team. I think it's the perfect situation for him. You know, a brick and mortar situation that he can really help build things up. And yeah, Germany. That's why this is the only game I wanted to talk about. Nothing else is really relevant here. Yeah, Italy, whatever. That's going to be interesting when we see them actually play later on in the year.
Yeah, I mean, you really got to remember this entire VNL. Italy played the B team the entire time, still made the playoffs, and Serbia didn't have Boskovic until week 3 and barely missed the playoffs. And those two teams are very much going to be a factor in Eurovolley, Olympic qualifiers, and all next year, obviously. So before I move on, Everett, I do have to give you credit because I'm looking at our picks from last week. Our picks, you smoked me. Not only did you correctly pick Turkey to win the tournament, but even your set score picks were largely correct. You picked Poland 3-1 over Germany. You picked USA 3-1 over Japan. You picked Turkey 3-0 over Italy. You picked Turkey 3-1 in the final. So congratulations to you. You clearly won the prediction contest.
I was pretty happy after the first quarterfinals. I was like watching them at work. Shout out to my friend Dalma from work. I was at work bartending, and I walked into the back, and one of our cooks is sitting on one of our back benches just watching VNL. And I was like, "Was that VNL?" Turns out she's a Turkish girl, so we just started getting into it. But yeah, and I messaged you, and I was like,
"What was the first thing that you two talked about?"
How bad Korea is. That's the first thing. Like within 5 minutes, we started talking about how bad Korea is. And that just shows you that we need some even casual fans on the street know how bad Korea is. Let's figure this out, volleyball world. Get rid. They can't be. If Korea is a core team next year, I'm boycotting VNL.
Ooh, well, we'll see.
I don't know if I want to say that, truly, but yeah, like I was feeling pretty confident after night 1, but then I kind of looked at I second guessed myself. We were messaging about it, but yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. I also picked Turkey to win last year, so this is redemption from last year.
It's redemption for last year in many, many ways. So one other thing that we can tell the people that we're going to do is, I think, are we going to do this tomorrow? We're going to do a video called VNL Report Cards, where we're going to go through all 16 teams and give them a letter grade on how we thought that their tournament went. So we're probably going to do that video tomorrow. We're probably going to do it live. So be on the lookout for that for women's. Then we'll do it next week for men's. I think that'll be fun. You already know what grade Korea's getting. You already know.
We're each giving grades. Like Rob's going to give grades, and I'm going to give grades. So I'm excited. I'm excited about that. It'll be fun. I'm going to spend the rest of my day working on that.
Yeah, that will be fun. All right. So I think anything else about women's VNL? Is there anything else you want to talk about women's VNL before we move on? I think congrats to Türkiye, and that it was a great tournament. It was a really fun final. Oh, bye, Everett. That's funny. Everett just dropped off. Oh, hey, buddy, welcome back.
I accidentally clicked something on my camera and it made me leave, so I apologize.
Great job. Anything else about women's VNL you want to talk about?
No, it was a great tournament, and I'm excited to talk. We're going to talk about it more tomorrow. So yeah,
it's true. We will be back in that video tomorrow. So fortunately for you all, VNL is not quite over yet. We've got the men's VNL coming up, but before we talk about men's VNL, there are a couple very important things we have to go over. The first, Everett, tell the people about that volleyball.store.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys go check out that volleyball.store. It's the home for all of our official merch. We got the spicy volleyball gear that we're both wearing today. Look at that. Matchy. Got the 9x9 squared series and all the other fun stuff. So if you use code SPICY, you're going to get 15% off that volleyball.store. So make sure you head over there and check it out. And that's a fun way to support us. Also, let's just give a big shout out to all those who have liked video already, and we've got like 200 plus of you watching right now, and only 47 likes. We've had like over 700 people tune in, only 47 likes. Let's get that up a little bit.
We had 4,000 viewers on last Monday's show. We're starting to do some numbers over here, which is cool to see. So thank you all for joining us. Definitely give the video a thumbs up. You better be subscribed to Volleyball Source, otherwise I will find you. And the last thing you have to do is join the Volleyball Source Discord. It's the best online volleyball community in the world. That's been popping off for the VNL finals. Obviously, it will do so for men's this week. So give that a join. And also, it's time for everybody's favorite part of the Volleyball Source universe.
We need like a Price is Right style like theme music when we announce it's like where's Daddy?
If anybody wants to make us a theme song for Where's Daddy, please get in touch with us. But it's time for everyone's favorite segment, because somewhere in this video, Daddy Stankovic is hidden. Maybe he's already shown up. Maybe he'll show up when we talk about men's, the second part of the show. But if you find Daddy Stankovic, you need to comment the timestamp of where he is in the main YouTube comments after the video is over, after the stream is over. So don't put him in the chat. Put him in the main video comments after the stream is over. When you find Daddy Stankovic, some people ask, why are we so obsessed with Daddy Stankovic? And what I always tell those people is like, just look at him. Just look at him. God, he's beautiful. So
let's be honest. If we were to objectify a female player in this way, we would be in a much more trouble. So we decided to go with a men's player because it's way easier that way.
That is a great point, but we love Daddy Stankovic very much. Last week we were talking about the end of men's VNL. We were talking about the 5-set banger that was Argentina versus the United States, and you can see there on the left, there's Daddy Stankovic celebrating with his Argentinian team. Daddy Stankovic has played for a lot of teams this VNL.
He has. He's really made his rounds. You know,
he sure has.
Sleeping around, that Daddy.
Oh, Daddy. It would be a treat for anybody to be teammates with Daddy Stankovic. So he'll continue to make his rounds. He was playing for Argentina last week. That's where he was. Our friend Kenny McGraw was the first one in the comments to find Daddy Stankovic.
Kenny, is that your first one? I think that's Kenny's first one.
He's always close. He's always one of the first.
He's always in the hunt, but I think this is the first time he got it. Yeah.
Congratulations, Kenny, for finding Daddy Stankovic. I also really like the way that people like the funny comments that people leave as they find Daddy Stankovic. Like people were saying, Daddy, a huge part of the 6-set win from Argentina at 23 because they 43-41. They basically played 6 sets. Devin from the Volleyball Coverage Channel says the day Daddy and Loser met for the first time, like a stupid Titans volleyball YouTube title. So fantastic. We love you guys. Keep commenting fun stuff when you find Daddy Stankovic. So maybe Daddy's already shown up in this episode. Maybe he will show up in the next few minutes. But find him and comment him on the main YouTube comments after the stream is over.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love this segment so much.
Now Daddy Stankovic is going to be switching to the women's side. So that's awesome.
That's right. And I think now it is time. It is time.
It is time.
It is men's VNL finals week. We are heading to Gdansk, Poland, starting on Wednesday. We are not. Yeah, you and I are not heading there. You and I will be sitting here in probably these exact chairs watching the games like everybody else. But the teams the final 8 teams are heading to Gdansk, Poland. They're probably already there for matches that start on Wednesday. Everett, I got to be honest, I love these time slots. Every day, Wednesday, Thursday, no matches Friday, then Saturday and Sunday. All the matches are at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern. I really like those time slots. So the schedule, number 1 USA versus number 8 France on Wednesday, number 4 Italy versus number 5 Argentina on Wednesday, number 2 Japan versus number 7 Slovenia on Thursday, number 3 Poland versus number 6 Brazil on Thursday, Friday off, semis on Saturday, medal matches on Sunday. This is going to be loaded. This might be even harder to pick than the women's finals were.
Way harder. Way harder. Not only do I like the time slots for this, but these quarterfinals, oh yes.
Unbelievable.
Like we just talked about how the women's quarterfinals weren't really that great to watch.
These are going to be insane.
These are going to be insane. I honestly don't know how to pick a lot of them. Like I really, really don't. Like this is going to be such good volleyball. I'm really excited for it. 8 teams who really truly belong to be here and who have battled throughout the VNL. This is going to be awesome, and I absolutely cannot wait. I honestly don't know which game to pick. I think all of them could be good. I think honestly Japan versus Slovenia might be a sneaky good game. I think that might be a sneaky good game.
Italy versus Argentina is the neutral game that I'm most excited about. I think that could be an absolute instant classic, especially with Argentina's love of playing 5-setters. We don't officially know the rosters yet because, of course, the teams are waiting until the last possible second to announce them. We do know Italy's, and it's the usual suspects, except without Simone Anzani, which I was a little surprised by. But we don't know Poland. We don't know France, and I'm terrified about this because just yesterday, Irvin Ingapet posted on Instagram a photo of him in a French national team uniform with a bunch of the hourglass emojis as the caption. So that is scaring me tremendously that Irvin might suit up for the finals. We don't know that, but it's possible, and that is terrifying. I also don't exactly know who the USA roster is. I think we might be bringing 2 liberos and only 2 opposites. I don't know who the second opposite is. I don't know who the second setter is. I don't know who the fourth outside is. So we'll get those rosters in the next day or two. We'll talk about them in the Discord. But Everett, I think without further ado, I think we got to make our picks. I think we got to put our picks on the record here. I'll write them down again, and we can revisit them on next week's show. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
You can go first. Because, okay. Or do we want to just, instead of doing all of them, let's just do it game by game.
Oh yeah, let's do it. So I've got the United States 3-1 over France. Obviously, I'm going to pick the USA. I'm not going to not pick the USA. If both of my teams fail to medal after having great preliminary rounds, I'm going to lose it. So I will pick the USA 3-1 over France. It is a terrifying 1-8 game. It is the most difficult 8 seed we possibly could have drawn. We will see if Ingapet plays, but I really like the way the United States is playing. We dusted France 3-0 a week ago in Anaheim. I like the matchup. I like the way we're playing. I like our serving a lot. I like our block defense. I don't love France's offense for most of this VNL. Even with Ingapet back, I still am not totally in love with their offense, and I think that we will be able to get that one done. So I'm going to pick the USA in 4.
Okay. I'm going to pick the USA in 5.
Okay.
I think France is just going to have a little bit more to bring to the table here. I think they're going to push them a little bit. I think it might come down to a bit of spiciness, but ultimately I do think the USA is going to pull through on this one.
Okay. How about Italy versus Argentina? I mentioned like just earlier, I think this might go 5. I'm going to pick Argentina in 5 over the reigning world champions.
Oh, I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to pick Italy in 5. Like,
nice.
This is an Italian team that knows how to win. They know how to get it done in gut check time. And if anyone knows how to play against the Checo, it's Italian guys.
True. I think most important player in that match by far, Yuri Romano. If he can be good, I think that's what Italy needs.
Which Romano are we going to get? Which Romano are we going to get? You're not wrong. I really like that take. I really do.
All right, Japan versus Slovenia. I've got Japan in 4. I've got Japan 3-1. I think that a week or so off is going to do wonders for Japan. I think that team it has been run into the ground this tournament a little bit, having to play their starters pretty much every game. However, kind of the same goes for Slovenia, and I just have a lot of faith in Japan's defense. I think I have a lot of faith in Japan's first contact. I think they're going to get that one done in 4.
See, this is one that's a little bit tougher. My head says Japan, right? Everything on paper, the way that they've been playing, the way I think that first contact on the serving side is going to be massive here for Japan because of how offensive of a game Slovenia says. But for some reason, my gut is saying Slovenia, right? Like I'm getting like Slovenia 3-1 in the back of my head.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's my angel or my devil talking. You know what I'm saying here? Like that's my question mark. But I think I'm gonna let my head prevail this time, and I'm also gonna go Japan. Actually, no, I'm gonna go Japan 3-2. Japan has been a team that has gone to 5 quite a bit. And right now I'm 3 for 3 picking these quarterfinals going to 5. But I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go Japan 3-2.
Okay, that would be electric if all these went to 5. Yeah, somebody in the chat says, "Don't worry, Alessandro Bovalenta is coming." This kid just absolutely lit up the U21 World Championship for Italy this past week. So that would be if he were to take Yuri Romanov's spot in the next couple of years, I certainly wouldn't be mad about it.
Or what about Mr. Kamil Rychlicki?
Oh, I forgot about Mr. Tricycle himself. That's another conversation. Last but not least, Poland versus Brazil. Brazil will have Yoandi Leal. It's very important to remember this. And Poland playing at home. We still have no idea what 14 players they're going to bring. All the pressure is on Poland. We know what sometimes happens to Poland in these situations, but I'm going to pick exactly like the last year's World Championship semifinal. I'm going to pick Poland in 5. Poland over Brazil 3-2.
I'm gonna stay away from the 3-2 with this one. I'm picking Poland 3-1.
All right.
It's not the choking level. See, what I really should have picked is Slovenia to beat Japan, because if Slovenia and Poland were going to match up, then you absolutely knew that Poland was going to choke and Slovenia was going to win. It was already written. If Slovenia beats Japan, it's already written. They're going to the finals. They don't even need to play the game because Poland will choke.
Yeah, Slovenia absolutely owns Poland for some reason.
Yeah.
But this is VNL, not Eurovolley. You got to remember that too.
True. That's must be about something about those breakfasts at Eurovolley. Too much sausage or something.
All right, moving on to the semifinals. So my semifinals are USA Argentina and Japan Poland. Your semifinals are USA Italy and Japan Poland. I'm going with USA over Argentina in 5. Again, Argentina loves 5 setters. They just beat us in a 5-setter a week or so ago. I don't think they can do that to us again. I've got the USA in 5 to go to the final.
Yeah. One thing I did want to say about Turkey versus USA earlier on the women's side, and we've said it a few times, it's hard to beat the same team twice in one tournament.
Yep.
I fully agree. I'm going to go actually USA 3-1 here. I think they're going to take care of business against Argentina.
Over Italy.
Shoot. I forgot. I picked Italy.
Yeah, you picked Italy.
You know what? I'm still going USA 3-1.
Okay.
I'm still going USA 3-1. Because traditionally we saw last year Italy does not do well in VNL, and we saw them get stomped by France in the semifinals last year. So I'm expecting a little bit, I guess a little bit more. It was a stomping,
It was.
It was a waffle stomp. You know.
I'm scared right now of how confident we both are in the USA, but I am confident in the USA, so we're going to roll with it. All right, next up is the meme game of the year. The Poland versus Japan for a chance to guarantee themselves a medal. Honestly, I wish I could pick against both of these teams because it would be funny. It would be really, really funny if Japan lost to Poland and Japan failed to medal. It would be even funnier if Poland lost to Japan at home.
Even better. Absolutely.
Oh, God, that would be hilarious. But I think Poland 3-dongs them.
I
think Poland 3-dongs them. I'm picking Poland 3-0.
Yeah, I think that part of me really wants Japan to beat Poland.
It would be
But
hilarious if Japan
the other
beat
part of
Poland.
me doesn't want to, because that's all volleyball world is going to be posting on their socials for months, and that power volleyball and
I don't
Titans
think I can
volleyball.
listen to the weebs. I just don't think I can handle it. If Japan
Oh my
medals, I just don't
gosh.
think I can handle it.
I'm so torn because I want Japan's rich volleyball history to have some success, and I just want to shut up the weeps. Like it's really half and half. That truly was it is.
And I think it would be hilarious if Poland finished fourth, like the hosting VNL curse, if that were to continue. But and I think it would be funny if those fans got pissed off at me again for calling them chokers, which they are. But I am going to pick Poland 3-0. So how about you? What do you think?
Yeah. I'm going to pick Poland 3-1.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Poland 3-1. I think that Ishikawa and the boys will figure out a way to get at least one set, probably the first set, if any.
See that?
Yeah, I see them like Nishida just ripping aces. He's going after Leon. Bam, 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 bam. They create a gap. Poland starts figuring things out. They close it out. They close the gap, and then Japan wins 25-23 or 26-24 or something. And then it's just all Poland the rest of the time.
I could see Gerbich making the wrong choice at outside hitters in the first set and then losing to Japan and then fixing that in the second set and winning the rest of the match. I don't know exactly who those players are, what's right and what's wrong.
He's not going to start Slivka, and I think you need Slivka to beat this team.
I think Slivka is the perfect. I think Slivka and Leon is a great pair to play against Japan.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So, okay, we've both got Poland going to the final. So your bronze medal game is Italy versus Japan. My bronze medal game is Argentina versus Japan, and we both have USA versus Poland in the gold medal match. So let's start with bronze. Italy versus Japan for bronze. Who do you got?
Japan 3-1.
Oh,
I think Japan's going to reach the podium.
Really?
In this one. Yeah, because once again, Italy chokes at this event, and I just don't see it. I really don't.
Yeah, VNL doesn't matter enough for Yuri Romano to play well.
Exactly. Exactly. So, and I think that Dijioji, much like Karch Karai, is not really focused on VNL as opposed to Eurovolley and Olympic qualifiers, right? I think that is the focus. They're the defending Euro champs, they're the defending world champs. VNL don't mean shit, brah. It doesn't mean anything. And a loss in the world rankings to Japan doesn't mean all that much. Whereas a win for Japan means a lot. If they get past Slovenia, I think they're winning a medal.
That is a great take. That I think of all the teams who a medal in this event would mean the most to them, it's Japan by far. And if they get to that spot, they're going to be the most motivated for sure to try and get over that hump. But so I've got Argentina versus Japan in my bronze medal match, and I'm again picking Argentina in 5. Argentina just insists on going to 5 with people. I think they can beat Japan. I'm pretty sure they played. I think they lost to Japan in 5 in the preliminary round, if I remember right.
Yes, they did.
I'll have to scroll back for a little bit to find that one.
Ran had one of the matches of the tournament in that one.
Oh, that's right. His
efficiency was disgusting.
That's right. Yeah, Japan 15-12 in the 5th in that one. I just saw it. You're right. That was the Ron Takahashi game. I've got Argentina in 5. Japan will fail to medal, and the weebs will be crying, and I think that will be delicious.
Honestly, I see Japan losing to Argentina.
If they were to play, yeah.
If they were to play, once again, it's tough to beat a team twice in one tournament. Italy beat Japan, whereas Japan beat Argentina. So I think that's it's whoever wins in that first round. All right, Rob, what is your prediction for El Final?
Revenge. I have revenge. Playing against Poland in Poland from last year's World Championship. We lost to them twice. I thought that it was fraudulent that we even had to play them in the round of 8. And we had a terrible TJ to Falco game and still took it to 5. We got completely torn apart by their middles, still took it to 5. The USA can do this, and we will. 3-1, the United States wins the tournament.
3-1.
3-1, the United States wins the tournament. You heard it here first.
I think this is one of my toughest ones too, because my gut isn't really giving me a reading. But and I can make arguments for either side. Both teams are a little starved for some hardware.
Indeed.
Both teams But both teams are coming at it from a different direction too. This USA team is this USA team. Like there's no picking or choosing who's on the roster, and if it is, it's minutia, right? It's smaller guys. Whereas Poland there's so many questions in there, and there's so much turnover, and whereas USA has been the same team for a long time.
We also don't know, for the record, we don't know how close to healthy Bartosz Kurek is. I think that is a bit of a wild card.
True. But like, if you lose Kurek and you still have Kaczmarek, right? If you lose Matt Anderson for Team USA, that's a big loss. That's a massive loss, unless Kyle Russell comes to save the day.
Comes to the rescue.
Comes to the rescue. There we go. That's what I was looking for. But for some reason, he's like 4th on Spiros depth chart. I think Poland is going to pull through in this one. Poland at home. I know it's tough for me to say because I love your Team USA. I love those guys. If the finals were in Katowice, Italy would win for sure. Nice. But yeah, I think Poland 3-1. I think that this is going to be their time, and they're going to start turning it on. If not, there's going to be some serious alarm bells being rung over there.
I just can't. But obviously, I'm going to pick the United States.
If you don't pick the United States, I'll be mad.
Of course, I'm going to pick the United States. We're the 1 seed for a reason. We've been saying that we have the U.S. has been playing the best volleyball in the world this tournament so far. But I just have I have a lot of faith in the U.S. But you know what? I have even more faith in Poland's ability to blow it. Poland will blow it, and I can't wait to hear the fans complain about it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, there's a lot to look at here, but I think as deep as the women's side is, there's way more intrigue for me on the men's side.
Yeah.
Way more intrigue.
Any of these teams legitimately could medal. Like 100%. Seriously, like
100%.
even Slovenia, if they
absolutely.
I definitely don't see Slovenia going to the final, but sure, I could see Slovenia winning bronze if they were to get there.
Oh, I see Slovenia. Hey, you get past Japan, and then it's you're good to go. You're playing Poland.
Then you get Poland, who you love beating.
Who you love beating. It's been a decade of Slovenia beating Poland at Euros. Like I think I've beat literally they've legitimately beat them 4 times.
Yeah, it's been pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it is pretty much. Poland is the same as situation as USA women, a revolving door of players. Yes and no. I don't agree with that to the same extent.
Yeah, I mean, we know a lot more about Poland's starting lineup. We know who their setter is. We know we know that it's correct on the right when he's healthy. We know that it's. Well, I mean, do we know the middles? Kochanowski, Biniak, and Huber are all good options. The thing we don't know is the outside hitter position for them.
But I think the difference between Poland on the men's side and USA on the women's side is that on USA on the women's side, you're dealing with a bunch of good talent. None of those players are world class outsides when it comes to the club game. Right? None of those players are playing professionally or in the Champions League on the regular basis and being the number 1 option on the
Poland,
team.
Every one of them.
Every single one of them. Absolutely every single one of them. Either you go for Zaksa or you go for JW
or Perugia.
Or Perugia. Every guy out there, and then you insert Alster Schauspuk, who I think deserves to get a chance but won't get a chance from Forsava there. But yeah, you've legitimately got it's like a Lego bucket. You're just going to pick your hand and pick one out, and you're going to hope the piece is right because they're all great.
Yeah, so curious to see what Gerbich does with that one. So those are our picks. We'll revisit those on next week's show. Men's VNL finals get started on Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern. USA versus France kicks it off. I'm stoked. I'm so excited for this. I really like the time slots for us North Americans.
Especially it's
for you, especially. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it sucked because I was at work. I had to watch all of these games on replays, which isn't the same because you don't get the Discord banter. You don't get
Discord's the best.
You don't get the tension of it. You can't even follow the live stats because those stats are all done. So it's just not the same watching experience when I'm watching them afterwards. So yeah, I'm stoked that we're going to get kicked off tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Love it. Let's go.
Yeah, that's Wednesday morning, not tomorrow, because tomorrow we will.
It's not Tuesday.
No, today is Monday.
Monday.
It's beautiful, and which is great because tomorrow we'll do that women's report card video, which I think is going to be really fun.
It will be fun as we give Korea an F minus.
F.
Fail.
F.
Don't pass go. Don't collect $200.
Yeah, spoiler alert for that one. One other thing, congratulations to Iran on winning the U21 Men's World Championship. Italy silver, Bulgaria bronze with Alex Nikolov. Yeah, that Bovalenta kid for Italy apparently is amazing. I didn't watch a second of this. I don't really care about the U21 level. We'll see if Iran can transfer that success to the senior level, which recently they have not really been able to do. If anybody else has any takes about the U21 World Championship, put them in the chat, but I didn't really watch any of it, so...
I mean, it's probably a good thing that you didn't watch any of it because your team
USA was terrible.
Was absolutely brutal. They finished 13th. They did finally manage to beat Mexico, which they hadn't been able to do earlier on in the tournament, losing teams like Egypt and the Czech Republic, and the likes of them. I mean, Canada on our Canadian side, what did we finish? I think we finished 10th. No, we finished 11th.
You're better than us, for sure.
We beat India 3 times, which my biggest gripe...
Why did you even have to play them 3 times? That's crazy.
Because of the stupid-ass way that the FIVB does tournaments. They do pool and then repool, but you repool with the same team from your first pool. So it's stupid.
It's
stupid. Why are we doing this? Why do we just it's just like we have a divider down the tournament and be like, these teams are going to play these teams and these teams are going to play these teams. Like, also the fact that Thailand made it to the friggin' top 8 because they had to play Bahrain in pool play, who were the hosts, by the way, is an absolute joke. But when you look at this, Iran winning that tournament, it's not the first time they win this tournament. It perfectly explains why I think Iran is going to be a team that is going to continue to be good, right? Another team that I'm looking at struggling, Brazil. Getting 3-donged by Argentina out here.
Of all teams.
Out of all teams, getting 3-donged by Argentina. That's a tough one. Argentina ended up losing to Alex Nikolov and Bulgaria in that bronze medal match. Poland beat Brazil for 5th. Belgium beat for 7th. Egypt beat the Czech Republic, Czechia for 9th. Canada beat India for 11th. USA beat Mexico for 13th. And then Bahrain beat Tunisia for 15th.
Great. Whatever. I don't really care about the U21 level, but it did happen. I felt like it was at least worth talking about. So, boys and girls, we'll see you tomorrow for our women's VNL report card show. And then we will see you next Monday for another episode of the 9x9 where we will react to the men's VNL finals. Congratulations again to Türkiye on winning the women's VNL. Don't forget about that volleyball.store. Don't forget about Where's Daddy. Make sure you comment where Daddy Stankovic was because he has appeared. Not going to tell you where, but he has officially appeared in this show. So find him. Comment the timestamp as soon as we're done here. And stay tuned. We'll figure out a time slot for our report card video. You want to do the same time? Want to do 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow? Everett?
This 11 a.m. time slot is kind of perfect.
People seem to really like it.
Yeah, people seem to really like it. It touches Asia, Europe, and North America. Kind of gets all 3. So that's absolutely fantastic. Love that. Also, I'm inclined to tell people to not like this video anymore because we're at 69 and I'm a child.
Dude, awesome. Nice.
But who was it? Was it Gronk who one time refused to hit a free throw in a high school basketball game because the score was at 69 and he didn't want to pass it?
Awesome.
But no, definitely like this video.
Children.
we are children. That is for sure. But yeah, definitely like this video. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to tune in tomorrow and be a part of what should be a pretty fun video.
Totally. Thanks, people. We'll see you very soon. We'll see you in the Discord.
Peace.